Hello and welcome. I haven't done any recordings in a while because we had death in the family and wasn't in the mood to share much. But now I'm back, and today I want to talk about how to elevate your anxiety in today's world through the archetypes. And archetypes are subconscious constructs. We all have them. We all think of a ruler the same way in Africa, in America, in South America, in Europe. And we think of a rebel the same way. It's just a social construct that's discovered by Sigmund Freud's colleague Carl Jung, and to make it easier to understand and actually attainable and usable in, can you say usable? I'm not sure. In today's world, I want to introduce you to all 12, and today we're talking about the ruler archetype. I've done videos on all other ones before that, and after the ruler, um, we have the magician, the sage, and the jester. So three archetypes left, and we're talking to them as a progression as we develop as human beings, and we all go through all the stages of development. That's why there's 12 steps in all the programs. The 12 steps to become who you're meant to be through discovering parts of yourself that are already in you, and that's why I wrote the book 12 Selves. And the ruler archetype is amazing when you're feeling anxiety about what's happening, like you feel you're out of control. And when you channel the ruler, and by the way, to channel the ruler, you put on a jacket or something that has leadership feel to it. And I'll show you later what a ruler archetype would look like, stereotypically. And when we literally put on a jacket, put on our invisible crown, think of what can I do moving forward? It's not what can I create like the artist and you create just because something is inside of you and you want to express it. This is how do I lead and what do I actually do? And you can be a ruler archetype in any field. For example, I wrote the books to lead people to a new way of thinking. The book about food is leading people how to eat. And the book about the 12 cells is leading people how to become who they're meant to be. The Birkin book, the lessons from Birkin, is leading people to become who they're meant to be in their own lives, to become the Birkin of their own lives, not just to buy Birkin. It's about becoming like the apple of your eye, becoming the Birkin of your eye. And you can be a leader in any profession if you choose to. And I find that when you step into the leadership role in whatever it is, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're still a leader. You're leading your household. When you take on that role and you straighten your back, you put a jacket, and I really recommend dressing up as that archetype because that's why when people go into theater, they dress up into costumes, and costumes represent the role that you're playing because when you're in costume, you feel differently. Let's talk about Cinderella. Cinderella, when she went to the ball, she did not show up in her clogs and her apron because no matter how wonderful she was, she would still not get into that mode of the princess, and the prince would not see her that way. And for those of you who are thinking, well, Alina, it's all pretense, it doesn't matter. What matters is how I feel inside. The thing is that no matter what you wear, people are reading you. No matter what you wear, people are creating their own impressions of you. And based on their own impressions and opinions of you, based on what you wear, that's how they make their decision on how to act with you, to listen to you or not listen, to trust you or not to trust you. So let me share with you the ruler archetype. And this is what the ruler archetype would look like. And you can tell right away there's a lot of trust. And I talk about in one of my classes that there's certain lines and shapes and forms that make us subconsciously trust, subconsciously feel stable. And this is the ruler archetype. And what I advise to my clients to feel this archetype is to play the song. We always play a song because music creates emotion. And we play the We Weren't Born to Follow by John Bon Jovi. You can play whatever song you feel gets you to step into that, but this is what I like. The mantra is I shape my world with vision and purpose. So repeating to yourself as a leader, I shape my world with a vision and purpose. And the keywords are power, confidence, and structure. So if you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans, you're not going to feel the structure as much. And so it won't be the leader archetype as much. And the foods you would want to eat to really get into this archetype would be, elegant, thoughtful dishes like risotto, grilled vegetables, golden milk with turmeric, dark berries with superfoods, sparkling water with lemon, exquisite, nutritious, and royal. And the pose is Utkatasana, the chair pose is strong and steady. And the anchor is lavender amethyst, which I'm wearing right now because it's elegant and refined. And what I find is when you dress up as that archetype and start thinking, well, how can I lead with purpose? How can I lead with power? How can I lead with intention? And of course, when we're talking about it, we're always doing it for good. And, I wanted to share something that I absolutely love. And I don't remember if I shared it with any other videos, but I want to share it here. Is Immanuel Kant, he said that in order to test whether something is ethical or not ethical, good or bad sort of thing, good or bad, it's, I think, very primitive words, but um, I just was watching the Wicked for Good, so this came up like good, good witch and bad witch, but they weren't, right? So the way to test if something is ethical or not, you think of everybody in the whole universe doing the same thing as you want to do. Will that be a good place or a bad place? So if you're leading with love, kindness, taking care of people, like that would be a great world where people are taken care of and everybody takes care of each other. When you think also, well, Alina, okay, well, I'm only person. I'm just one person. Doesn't really matter what I do. Well, think about it. If millions of people thought the same way and they decided to change, and there are so many different examples when one person just gets up and starts dancing, for example, and everybody thinks, oh my God, what an idiot. And then a little bit later, another person joins, and there are two idiots, and three idiots, then four idiots, and all of a sudden, oh my God, they're having so much fun. Then four people join the four people, and then it starts doubling. And then before you know it, it's a huge party of hundreds of people, started by one person who's just doing what they think is the right thing to do, having fun and leading. So even through dance, that person was leading this whole group of people into having fun. And so I invite you in today's environment, wherever you may be, think of how can you lead people to happiness? How can you lead people to joy? And of course, it starts with us. It starts always at point A where we are. So, dressing up into the leader archetype, the ruler archetype, feeling it and seeing how can you lead people? What can you teach people? Not teaching from the sage standpoint, and we're going to talk about sage later, but this is more about how can you be the person who leads people to do something good. Because there's so many leaders right now that are leading our planet into a terrible place, which I don't want to talk about right now, but I want to focus on how can we lead our planet to joy and happiness and health, and it all starts with us. We can't wait for someone else to take the lead. We have to take the lead, even if it's just for the one day, even if it's just for whatever role you're playing in your own life. Our energy emanates, and our energy of leader archetype, good leader, healthy leader, ethical leader. When we take that role, we can make a difference in this world. And whatever happens for the moment that you are stepping into the role of a leader, you will feel better. You will feel less anxiety. You will feel happier when you are leading with purpose. So try it on. Let me know how it goes. Okay, until later. Bye.